Since ChatGPT launched, 14 million white-collar jobs have vanished. In the same window, 7 AI-exposed companies added over $8 trillion in market cap. That's not a coincidence. That's a wealth transfer. And the executives who promised AI would augment, not replace workers, they're the ones cashing the checks. Start with the group everyone said AI would empower: degree holders, knowledge workers, the college-educated class that was supposed to ride the AI wave to a productivity renaissance. Look at unemployment among workers with advanced education across the G7 plus Korea and India. For nearly 2 decades, it sat in a tight band, recessions aside. Then 2023 hits. The line bends up almost everywhere ChatGPT-style tools were deployed at scale. In the US, advanced education unemployment climbed faster than overall unemployment for the first time in the series. In the UK, it's at a decade high outside of COVID. Germany, France, Canada, same shape. This is the population AI hits hardest. Analysts, coders, paralegals, marketers, junior consultants. The augmentation narrative predicted their wages would rise, their job postings would multiply. Instead, the first cohort in modern history where having a degree is becoming a liability in the labor market just showed up in the data. Here's the counter-argument every tech CEO will throw at you. Jobs aren't disappearing. Output is rising. AI is making everyone more productive. This is good. Fine. Let's check the receipts. Industry value-added growth, the actual output number, accelerated post-2022 in exactly the economies shedding white-collar roles. The US, Korea, India, output up. Headcount flat or falling. That's the textbook definition of jobless growth. Now overlay trade exposure, how plugged into the global services economy each country is. The most trade-exposed advanced economies are the ones where the squeeze is sharpest, because their service workers compete with automation everywhere at once. So yes, productivity is rising. That's the problem. The gains aren't reaching the workers who produced them. Output up, employment down, wages flat. That's not a win for labor. That's the signature of capital eating the surplus. Want to know who's building the machine that's doing the eating? Follow the R&D money. Korea now spends nearly 5% of GDP on R&D, the highest in the OECD. The US crossed 3.5%. Japan and Germany are pouring in record sums. France and the UK are scrambling to catch up. India's absolute spend is exploding, even if the ratio looks modest. This isn't research for research's sake. The vast majority of this capital flows into AI infrastructure, semiconductors, cloud, and automation platforms. The exact stack designed to replace cognitive labor. Every percentage point on this chart is a bet that machines will do what people used to do, cheaper. The countries leading this chart aren't preparing their workers. They're underwriting the displacement. Now, the payoff question. Where did the money go? The top 10% income share is the cleanest signal we have. In every advanced economy on this list, the top decile's share has either held at historic highs or climbed since 2020. In the US, the top 10% now captures over 45% of national income. India is past 57%. The UK and Germany, economies once known for compression, have been drifting upward for 2 decades, and the post-2022 print continues the trend. This is what capital capture looks like in real time. When productivity rises and labor's share doesn't, the surplus has to go somewhere. The data says it went up, always up. Let me put the whole argument on one chart. On one axis, R&D intensity. How hard a country is pushing the AI build-out. On the other, the income share captured by the top 10%. The relationship is unmistakable. The countries investing most aggressively in the technology that's replacing knowledge, workers are also the countries where the rich are capturing the largest share of national income. Korea, the US, Japan, top right. This isn't a paradox. It's the mechanism. Capital funds the automation. The automation displaces labor. The savings flow back to capital. Then capital reinvests in more automation. The flywheel doesn't include workers. It never did. The augmentation pitch was marketing, designed to keep workers cooperative during the transition. Last chart. Watch the rankings shift. Bar race of trade exposure across our 8 economies from 2005 to 2023. Germany, Korea, Canada, the most trade exposed, are also the economies where service sector automation hits hardest because their workers compete in global markets where the cheapest digital labor wins. The U.S. looks insulated by this metric, but that's misleading. American firms own the AI stack, so they capture the global productivity gains without needing high trade ratios. Either way, you slice it, the workers lose. Trade-exposed economies lose jobs to cheaper automated labor abroad. Trade-protected ones lose jobs to domestic AI deployment. There's no safe corner of the advanced economy. The verdict is clean. 14 million white-collar jobs gone. $8 trillion added to 7 balance sheets. Labor's share down. Capital's share up. Top decile fattening in every economy that matters. The executives who told Congress and their employees that AI would augment, not replace, weren't wrong by accident. They were lying with intent because the augmentation narrative was the political cover required to deploy replacement technology without a backlash. The productivity windfall was never going to be shared. The data shows it wasn't. And the next wave, agentic AI, is being built by the same people who just ran this play. If you're a knowledge worker waiting for the augmentation dividend, stop. It isn't coming. It already arrived. Someone else cashed it. If you want the receipts before the headlines catch up, subscribe. No vibes, no takes. Just the charts that show you where the money actually went. New data breakdown every week.